and gentlemen, welcome to this very special episode of Petey's Awesome Guest Spotlight, the 180th episode. And man, what a way to have a rockin' 180th episode than with a rockin' guest star. Now, before we introduce tonight's legendary rock and roll iconic name, I want to introduce another name of legendary, in my eyes, legendary iconic co-host. First off, the mouth of the Dirty South, Mr. Jacob Baxter.
Hey, hey, how y'all doing?
Good to see you, Jake. Also joining us from the land from down under, Miss Jessie Devine.
Hi.
Love having you on here, Jessie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Also joining us tonight, the man who is the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, and that is Mr. Christopher Patty.
Hey, yo.
Did you patent that yet, man?
Still haven't, man. Sorry.
Okay, work on that. Also joining us, absolutely not least, he is a wonderful gentleman. He is Dan the Man Romano.
Hey Pete, thanks for having me, and Sam, nice to see you again and great to meet you here, and just glad to be here.
Great to have you. And to introduce tonight's guest star, like we said, I mean, a woman who really doesn't need any introduction, but I'm going to give her one too because she's such a fucking iconic name. I'm going to do the honors doing that. She is a legendary name in not only the 80s, but she is an iconic name in both music and voiceover. She is the star of many projects, such as Transformers, and of course, JEM and the Holograms. Miss Jarrett, she is in my opinion, a Hall of Famer, a legend, an icon, and the legendary Miss Samantha Newark. Welcome, Samantha. How are you today? Great to have you.
Well, that's a lot to live up to. What a lovely, lovely introduction. Nice to be here with everybody.
Great to have you, and it's you deserve it. One of the questions I got to ask you, though, and this is going to be a typical cliche question I ask all my guest stars too, and that is, how and when did you get your first star and/or big break? And it could be into music or voice acting. Take us there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been in show business professionally since I was 8. I made a record when I was 8, a country western single, and I got to tour all over when I was a little kid. And but honestly, like the reach of my work has never quite compared to the reach of JEM, and it has just been such a beautiful journey, especially since the interweb, which you young kids we didn't have that back then, but since social media and the reach of the internet, just the fan base has just been able to find each other and come together over the years. And wow, who knew I knew my voice was being beamed out to millions of kids, but to actually kind of really get to feel that.
Ms. Devine, your first question?
Oh, right. Any methods or approaches you do to prep yourself for a particular role?
Oh my gosh, well, it all really depends on what I'm up against. But I always feel like I used to feel like I had to maybe sound like somebody. And, the biggest thing I've learned is that you need to be yourself and figure out what makes you resonate to the material, and give your own unique spin on it. Because at the end of the day, unless they're looking for a caricature of somebody else, they're looking for somebody to breathe life into their project. And I think it's just been a really good lesson for me to trust my own instincts, especially when you don't get to know a whole lot about what project you're walking into initially. Unless you're working on it, you get very little to work with. So it's like, okay, well, this is what Samantha thinks as an actor. And then, I do my best with that and trying to grasp as much of it, the integrity of what they're trying to communicate, as I can. Yeah.
I got to ask you too, Samantha, when as a professional actress though, and a voiceover too, because you've had many years of experience though, I have to ask you this question related to that though. When portraying a character, whether it's Ariel or whether it's Jerica, how do you balance the character's personality, which are very own? In other words, like, what is the key, in your humble opinion, like, of making a character seem more authentic?
Well, I think, again, like bringing something, like really connecting with it in some way. With JEM and Jerica, I was pretty lucky because they're not dissimilar to me. And I kind of feel like that's why I got the role, because I really understood her, and I I think they heard Jem and Jerica in my delivery. It just resonated with them. But then there's stuff that's really fun to do that's different, you know, that you get to kind of, I think everybody's multifaceted. So there's an inner bad girl and there's an inner you know, a pizzazz and that type of thing. But mostly I found that you kind of read for type there and you kind of find your lane. There are people that are really prolific at doing many different types of characters, but there are also, you have to pay attention to when you seem to shine in one particular genre. And I kind of found where I shine. And it's the more authentic gem type characters. So, you know, that's not a bad thing either.
Not at all. And would you say also, Samantha, too, like you had the aura and fumbling my words, ideology of what Jem and Jericho are all about. Now it was a matter of how do I put this all together and bring it to life, right?
Well, that's also the writing, and the writing was so beautiful. It was very easy to find my traction with Jem and Jerica. And also Wally Burr was an amazing director. And for a first time on an animated series, you know, I was flying blind. You know, obviously they knew I'd been in the business a long time, and as a vocalist, a lot of voice talent are also singers. A lot of us sing. So, but he was so good at helping me. He was great. He was a great director. I mean, no wonder he, you know, directed like thousands of animated shows, episodes. So that was super helpful.
Cool. And by the
Yeah.
way, before Jacob, you get your questions, I just want to apologize, Samantha, if I was fumbling up my words, though, because when you have a legendary name like yourself on, like you get too excited, I just got fumbled my words, so I apologize.
Oh, don't even worry. I love it. It's very genuine and authentic, and that's what I love the most.
Thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
Mr. Baxter, your first question.
Okay, Miss Newark, I'm going to try my best not to like totally fanboy out right now.
Where in the
Because
South are you? They said the dirty South. Like, where are you?
I am in what some people call LA, except for it's lower Alabama.
Oh,
Gotcha. You're right down below me. I'm in Nashville, which we
Okay.
call Nash Vegas.
cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
if you look at a map and you see that little notch where Florida, Georgia, and Alabama meet,
Like Floribama?
Florida, yeah, that's actually not too far
Floribama.
from me.
Yes. Oh, it's
Alabama.
beautiful. It's beautiful down there. Oh, it's really, really beautiful down there. Yeah.
So what's your question back, Jacob?
Hold on, my computer is being difficult.
No worries.
Synergy, we need your help.
Yes. Like I said, I'm trying not to fanboy out so bad. Because lifelong, my number one fandom has been Transformers. And my number one hero in life is Optimus Prime.
Well, that's a pretty good hero.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
And so in the episode, The Search for Alpha Trion, you were Ariel. And if you link the becoming of Orion Pax, you were technically Optimus Prime's girlfriend.
Yep.
and so I have a two-part question. Number one, what was it like, you know, preparing for Ariel, kind of creating her? And then second of all, no offense to you, but who I consider is the greatest voice actor of all time, what was it like working with Peter Cullen?
Well, you know, I don't want to crush your idea of how it all happened, but I didn't get to record ensemble for Transformers, which would have been so epic. Although we probably would have had no photographs because nobody even thought about doing anything. Oh, why we never thought about that. Jem never had a cast photo either. So bizarre. But yeah, I was brought in independently to record with Wally Burr, the director, for my part. So I didn't get the opportunity to work with the whole cast, which would have been fabulous. But I did work with Sue Blue, obviously,
RC.
on JEM, RC, and I worked with Jack Angel, played my dad.
Also
And
Magnus.
yep. And I'm trying to think. There were quite a few of us that got invited to be on Transformers as well, that were in the JEM universe. So that was so cool. And as far
did you know that there's actually a shared universe?
a JEM and Transformers shared, I have heard that, like a
With G.I.
multiverse.
Joe and Inhumanoids. The
Yeah.
character Ramirez
Yeah.
occurs on all four.
Yeah, the fans have told me that over the years. I'm like, this is so crazy. It's so cool. And then how the Misfits and JEM ended up on the G.I. Joe box set, on that beautiful venue thing that I have one. Hasbro whole site. I was at San Diego Comic Con, and we went over to just say hi to them. And then they took it out of the thing, and we were taking pictures with it. And then they were like, here, it's you. They gave it to me.
That is awesome.
Which was, I was not expecting that. And I was like, oh my God, how do I get it on the plane to get home? But it's with me. I have it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Let me say too, Samantha, before I ask my next question though, I gotta be you are a legend. Like I said, you're a legend in the voice acting business though. You're what they call the lady of the 80s though. JEM was the lady of the 80s. I jokingly say when I was a kid I was the kid of the finding 90s though. But with that being said though, I have to ask to Samantha, with this being said, that with playing JEM though, like what was the most challenging part with playing like with playing Jericho, like and portraying the character? Like, what would you say was the most difficult part of the portrayal?
It was I just wanted to do the most outstanding job that I could possibly do, and I was surrounded by seasoned voice actors. So it was very intimidating for my 18-year-old self when I showed up to work with everybody. So I think it was probably just allowing myself to settle in and feel like I did have a place there, and that they were trusting me, because I mean basically the show's JEM, so I'm the lead, I'm carrying the show, and here's me bright-eyed bushy-tailed Sam coming in with her first animated series starring in the show. So it was all of the things. It was fantastic and so exciting, but it was also quite terrifying, and it was a lot of pressure. But maybe because I'd been in the business, since I was a little kid, I was used to being nervous and doing it anyway and faking it, and I had a lot of support. I really did. I had a lot of support. They made me feel very welcome. And so I think that was probably the hardest part. And then I also remember there's a thing that we do in voiceover. It's called body English. And it's where you are running away from somebody or you're climbing up a hill and there's like no dialogue. It's just like grunting and making all these, like you're climbing and you're doing all these things. I was so mortified. Like it was embarrassing for me to do that. I don't know if my 18-year-old self just thought it was really embarrassing. And I had a really hard time. With that. I had to really push myself to like get over myself and not be so worried about what people thought. So there were a lot of firsts for me. There were a lot of things that I'd never done before that I was like thrust into. But it was fun. At the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'm going to put that in my back pocket. I did that. That's fine. I learned how to do that, So yeah, what an amazing opportunity for somebody to just jump in the deep end and learn from the best of the best. That's what I got to do.
And that's incredible. Before we get to Dan's question too, Samantha, I just want to say too, I mentioned before, like you're the ladies of the 80s. I mentioned I was the kid of the finding 90s. The reason I brought that up was because I unfortunately was never able to like watch like JEM because it was in the 80s. But
sure,
out of total respect for you, and like before we did this interview, I actually prepped myself. I was watching like hours upon hours of JEM like stuff. And let me just say this: after watching like doing the research and just watching JEM, let me just say I absolutely appreciate like your passion. I appreciate like the tenacity you portrayed as Jericho. Like I just love how you portrayed that character. It was so real, so genuine, and just felt like real life.
Thank you so much. It's lovely because you've heard it with fresh ears. Your hashtag next generation, by the way.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just say you're a natural. And just do what
Thank
you're happy.
you. And you know, Wally, he wanted us to sound really accessible to kids. He, even though there's a lot of campy, cartoony things, car chases, and like the craziness of cartoons that we absolutely love, he wanted the humanity of us to really shine. He wanted the kids to look up to us like we were their older sisters. You know, that like we were their friends. So he was always erring on the side of us doing very real performances, which I loved. You know, I really loved that. So although we had our crazy cartoon moments every episode.
Don't you just love a crazy cartoon moment though?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to have it. I mean, oh my God, you can't have Jem without the Misfits too. And I've often said it, they're like committing felonies like every episode. How are they not arrested? How are they not put in jail? They were crazy.
But first of all, Daniel, I love your shirt, by the way. Like the
Oh, thanks.
Your question?
Okay, first, I got two things. Sam, you look gorgeous, by the way. Just had to throw that out there.
You're
And
so sweet.
my pleasure. And you left me open for this since you're in Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see. So
Thank you so much. That's so
I should
sweet.
appreciate that.
Every girl loves to hear that.
Oh, yeah, you're gorgeous. You're a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Yes, you are.
My question would be well, it's kind of a two-part question, but one, did you see the 2015 live action version of Jem and the Holograms? And like, what's your opinion on it? And did you have any say in it? Like on Jericho or the casting or like any of that stuff?
Right. So I did a cameo in the movie. So I played the hairdresser, and I was originally supposed to play the stage manager. But I had pink hair at the time, and I remember telling John Chu, I remember suddenly it occurred to me because he'd already asked me if he could invite me to be in the film and he would write something for me. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. How amazing. The fans have been wanting this for all of these years. So I said yes. And I didn't even know what he said, I think we're going to have you be the stage manager. Because I mean, Jericho was always like, ladies and gentlemen, or Jem would be like, ladies and gentlemen, we're so excited to be here tonight. We're Jem and the Holograms. And but then after a little while, I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he knows I have pink hair. And I didn't want it to be an issue with, you know, the new Jem with her pink hair. So I thought I better tell him. And I did tell him. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, let me think about it. And so he came back with I would be the hairdresser and I would give Jem her new look and say, you remind me of myself. Yeah. But you know, the Jem movie, it was a very surreal experience to get to go to LA from Tennessee. And you know, I saw the trailers when I drove up, the trailers for the actors. It didn't say like Aubrey Peoples or, you know, Stephanie Scott. It said Jem, Aja, Shayna, Kimber. It said the characters' names on their dressing room trailers from the lot that I was driving through. And I had a moment, I was like, oh my God, is this like, whoa. It was just a surreal moment of like, wow, this is really happening. How crazy. I think the marketing, unfortunately, was not great because it didn't show anything that was familiar to the original Jem fans. And so with teeth gnashed, they came for it. They came for the movie
Because looking at it didn't have the 80s aesthetic look, like they modernized it. And like the clothes I noticed too, most of them were all dark colors. When you see the show, they're all bright colors. Again, this is the 80s, it's pastels and beautiful.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, I was curious on your thoughts on that.
I know. And it was sad too, because John Chu grew up with Jem. He had like 5 sisters or something crazy, and he loved Jem. And the trailer didn't show the Misfits. The trailer didn't show Synergy. It showed nothing that was remotely familiar. And then Eric Raymond was now Erica Raymond, Juliette Lewis, who I love, who's amazing. But I think it was just a little too much of a departure for the original fan base. And then I was under a non-disclosure agreement. So when when people were losing their minds on Twitter, like, what? No misfits? No. Oh, Captain Kirk. I can't think of the actor right now.
William Shatner.
William Shatner?
Captain Kirk, the original from
Oh,
Star Trek.
Shatner.
Shatner.
William
Yeah.
Shatner.
William Shatner
Yeah.
started tweeting like, "What? No synergy? No Gemstar earrings?" I was like, "Oh my god, what is even happening?" So I think that was
Even Shatner was a fan, really.
yeah, he just got on the train of people going, "Wait, what? This is nothing like what we had hoped." Which I understand the fans were disappointed, but I have no shade for the girls. They were all so sweet and so talented, and I literally got to sit there until I shot my scene watching the whole montage scene with Juliette Lewis and all of them trying on their outfits, and it was awesome. It was awesome to be a part of. But I think it missed the mark for sure with the original fans because there wasn't enough of the meat and potatoes that they had hoped for. But you know, it's hard. It's hard to recreate something that is so that people have such an emotional attachment to. It's really difficult to do that unless you really, really, really stay true to if it was set in the 80s and if they
I
did
think
it,
they should have done that.
yeah,
Like they should have just made it go all 80s with it.
yeah,
You know?
or an animated one and brought some of the voice talent, those of
Yeah.
us who are still around. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have modernized it because, I mean, look at the Josie and the Pussycats movie. I think they did an awesome job with it.
Yeah. Like the Spice Girls that was like super campy and over the
I
top
remember that.
Spice World.
ridiculous.
Oh,
Spice World.
I love Spice Girls.
I love
And
that
although it's
movie.
not so much
Right.
music related here, I also think back to like back in the 80s when there was a Mario Brothers cartoon with live action segments.
Oh yeah,
And
Cyndi Lauper.
they did try to make a go of a Mario Brothers live action movie back in the 90s, as we all remember.
Yeah.
And of course, that didn't do so well.
Mhm.
And then they would try again with an animated version, and we had came up more recently. I want to say like 2023,
Yeah.
and they actually like hit the mark better because it was actually more respectful to the fans. It was just like more true to the
Yeah.
initial source material, as well
Yeah.
as like things that were blended from the original 80s cartoon that a lot of us may remember.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just
Yeah.
that when the writers respect the fans, it really
Yeah.
just hits the mark.
It does. And why wouldn't you do that? You've already got a built-in fan base that loves the show. And so were lovely to me. John Chu was an absolute sweetheart. We ate lunch together because you get in hair and makeup at like 11 in the morning, and I didn't shoot my scene until 6 o'clock at night. You're just sitting there all day, and he plopped down next to me, and I was like, "So John, are there misfits in this movie?" And he's like, "You can't have Jem without the misfits." And I was like, I'm so excited, but we didn't know anything. I toured the Misfit set. I did. He walked me around the Misfit set. I didn't know that Kesha was Pizzazz, but
That's the thing. It had a great cast. It's just a shame, like how they marketed and like with Molly Ringwald and all that. Like,
I mean, oh my
big names.
gosh, yeah. What can you
Unfortunately, the
do?
writing pool of Hollywood is just full of too many morons with too much power.
Well, it was a different time then, because I mean, think about that. We had they were doing soft reboots then too. At that time, we had Star Wars out then, The Force Awakens. They had Jurassic World. They tried to do it a couple of years there with the Power Rangers 2017 movie, which I'm in the minority of that. Like, I don't like how they modernized that, and they kind of ruined a lot of things there too. But it just
it's
I personally
difficult
thought it wasn't a bad movie,
territory.
but
It wasn't. I didn't. It was all right, but like Dan said, it was okay. It wasn't like the 1995 version.
It had good parts to it, but it wasn't great. Like the Rangers, like it was the same thing we were talking about with Jim and the holograms with the colors. It's like Power Rangers 2 is very bright and colorful, and then here all the Rangers are depressed and like it's like what the heck, man! And don't even get me started on Goldar's design. That was just terrible. But yeah,
They ruined the Zords. They melted together. No, you got to show the sequence. You got to show the Devastator, the Voltron sequence.
See?
Yeah,
it's so true.
What do you think of the impact? I mean, this is piggybacking basically what we talked about, though. But what do you think of the impact that JEM has caused on both old and new generations of fans? Now JEM came out in 1985, correct?
Yes.
And now we're 40 years later, like after its 40-year release, like what do you think of
Yeah.
this incredible impact that it lasted on both old and new generations of fans?
I could never, none of us could have ever imagined. We knew we were doing something pretty special, and we knew that it was really resonating. But again, we had no social media, so we couldn't. It's not like we could get on X and see what the hashtags were, what people were saying. We had no idea. All we knew that we would just get picked up for more episodes. We kept getting green lit, so that was it's working. It's doing good. They want more episodes. As far as the legacy, I think if we could bottle the magic that happened, then we'd all be millionaires. It was a time capsule for the 80s for sure, which was such a fantastic decade for music
Yeah.
and fashion and just so many cool. I mean, when I think about the music artists that I was a teenager listening to when I did JEM, I mean, my gosh, it was Michael Jackson, Madonna, it was um
Would you say
okay,
Cyndi Lauper?
Tina Turner, Cyndi
Oh
Lauper,
yeah.
um, George Michael,
Boy
David
George.
Bowie,
Boy George.
like Boy George. I mean, the music that was coming out of the Annie Lennox,
Yeah.
Oh,
Eurythmics.
Sinhead was 80 or 90? Sinhead O'Connor.
Oh, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bought her album in the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, The Lion and the Cobra. I remember wearing that record out and just like, who is this girl from Ireland? Oh my gosh, what an amazing artist Sinead was. It was very sad when we lost her, but wow, did she make an imprint?
She
She
did.
really
Yeah.
did.
She had a beautiful
Yeah,
voice.
beautiful
And
voice. Her soul, you could hear her soul and her pain in her voice. So beautiful.
The cartoons
But
in the 80s were the most awesome because they were all 22-minute toy commercials.
yeah, they were.
I am so
They
glad you brought
were.
that up, Jacob, because that's actually going to lead to one of the first clips. See, Samantha, we actually want to play this first clip for you because, like we've talked about, that JEM left an everlasting impact on pop culture, and one of the things was merchandise, of course, the toy commercials at the time. And I know Jacob is going to appreciate this. So what we're going to show actually are at least a minute worth of old JEM toy commercials. Like
Oh my
that's one of the
gosh.
clips, and just to show you how much of an impact that JEM has caused on society back in the 80s and even now. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell me if everyone sees it, and we're gonna go ahead and roll the clip.
I love it.
Alrighty, let me go ahead and share sound. Tell me when everyone can see it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
It's
I
loading.
can see it.
So
All right.
we're gonna play a minute, I mean maybe 2 minutes worth of it, but here we go. 3 commercials.
Now get a free cassette with new JEM songs when you buy any of the JEM dolls. Doesn't hurt, jealousy, baby. And I guess Who is it kissing? The music cassette is free at participating stores when you buy any of the JEM dolls, and you get a free JEM poster too.
I got mine. I got mine. I got mine.
JEM.
Next one.
Little voices.
She's JEM, the most glamorous rock star ever. She's also Jerica, the president of Starlight Music. But only her friends, the Holograms, Kimber, Aja, and Shayna, know that Jerica is also JEM.
But we're the misfits. Our songs are better. We are the misfits. The misfits. And we're gonna get her.
JEM, truly outrageous. And they're each sold separately from Hasbro.
Final commercial. Here we go.
JEM! JEM's got a rock backstager.
I'm not gonna lie, I want one of those.
Outrageous
Oh my
and
God.
totally JEM's got a rock backstager. And yes, 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 it's the best. A rock and roll speaker outside. JEM's dressing room on the inside. Plug in your music, play the best. We got JEM's outfit totally fresh. JEM's got a rock backstager. JEM's rock backstager. JEM's wardrobe and JEM and her friends sold separately. JEM.
So what'd you think?
Truly
I have one of
outrageous.
those.
That's nice.
I have a rocket backstager.
I want that.
I
And
bought
no.
myself one. That's
We
so
have-
fabulous.
the thing though too, Sam, I really wanted to prepare, like, and this is going to ask you, would you be interested in the future coming on for a potential part 2? Because I was going to do a special episode in your honor, the Sam Newark Appreciation Night, in which I was gonna show, clips of like your, work, and but the only thing was like I see you had a YouTube page, so I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use like that material because I was gonna make like an ultimate
Oh,
compilation in your honor of nothing but you.
oh my gosh. Well, I would love to say yes to coming back on. You guys are wonderful. This would be really fun. So
And next
just
time
let
we're
me know.
And
We'll
next
we'll
time
work it out.
we're gonna turn the dial up to 11, Miss Newark, and by that we're gonna show like nothing but you like the entire time. We're gonna show clips. That's why I actually subscribed. You have a YouTube page, correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was gonna make something in your honor next time you come on, and
Wow.
one of the final questions I have for you, and this is gonna be, let me just say this, you're a woman who is of inspiration, of badass, and just an awesome individual, no pun intended. With that being said, any advice you would like to give to the viewers watching at home, since you are a word of absolute awesome wisdom?
Oh my gosh. Just fellow human being to human being. Try to see the best in people. And if you if you know what I've learned over the years, when you meet those people that have that pizzazz like quality, sometimes they're beyond help, but most of the time they're just suffering and they're just sad. And I try to be kind anyway. It's really how I live my life. I really just try to be kind no matter what. I don't let people walk all over me, but you never know when there's just not enough of it in the world. I think people need to smile at each other more and get off their phones and step into the human experience because time goes so fast and we're all in this together. So
Beautifully well said. I mean, that doesn't shock me coming from an inspirational individual like you, Miss Newark. Start with ladies first. Miss Devine, your final comment and/or question for the legendary Samantha Newark.
Great to meet you, Samantha. And it
lovely
was
to meet
great
you too, hun.
and great to do this episode too. It was great to
So-
learn about you.
And
stuff
whereabouts
too.
in Australia are you?
I'm in the New South Wales state where Sydney lives.
Oh,
Sydney.
where Sydney is. Yeah. Well, God bless you guys over there. I know you've been through it this week. So anyway, just all the good feels from where we are here, from the dirty South. Apparently that's where I am, the dirty South.
So cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Baxter, your final comment?
I just want to say thank you for being a truly outrageous guest and putting up with my fanboying. And if you would be so kind, I would like to make one request that would really make somebody's day.
Sure.
My friend Christy Lynn, that I've known for over 25 years,
Oh, wow.
she grew up a huge JEM fan, and if you could be so kind as to give her a shout out, that would make her day.
Christy Lynn?
Christy Lynn Smith.
Christy Lynn, it's Jim and Jerica, and I love that your heart is still with the show, and I hope you're binging it on Tubi. I hope I get to meet you in person one day because I do travel around to the different fan conventions, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas and New Year's, and follow your heart. And doing the right thing doing the right thing makes you a superstar. So.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. She will love that.
Great.
Mr. Patty, I humbly apologize for earlier. Your final comment and question for the legendary Samantha Newark.
So, I at least grew up on your show a little bit. Although I was actually about 5 years old when I saw it in reruns. Although if it was actually running as long as 5 years, because I was born in '85.
Oh, wow. You were born in 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was actually running that long,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, that's quite like a hallmark for you for sure. Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely grew up on your show, and it was sort of just a bit of nostalgia when I heard from Pete that we were actually going to be having JEM herself on the show. It's like, really? Oh, holy shit! Wow. But coming to my final question here, which is actually the only question I'm able to really get in, is how did your experience on JEM lead to your future projects later on in your career, and either in acting or non-acting, and what proceeded after JEM?
Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question. I don't think I really knew that. I mean, obviously, I was getting real close to. It was a weird time in voiceovers when JEM ended, because I was starting to get down to like the last two people for like the Spider-Man cartoon, and then it was like, oh, but you're up against Alicia Silverstone and who was it, Drew Barrymore, and a lot of the celebrities were. The secret was out. The voiceover was awesome, and they wanted a piece of it, and I was like starting to hear. Julia Roberts on MasterCard commercials, and all of this was starting to happen at the same time. And I've been a singer songwriter for decades, and so I really being on JEM allowed me a little bit of money so that I could be in bands and do my music and write music with people, and honor that artist part of myself. It's just been a super, super long, crazy journey all over the place. I mean, my Wikipedia page shows quite a lot of it, but I think I've derailed from your original question, but it's just been a beautiful part of my life. It's you always hope your work is going to mean something to people and touch people, and the fact that people are still talking about JEM for the 40th anniversary, and that it still means to something and makes their little 8-year-old heart flutter, like that is some cool stuff right there. So I'm really grateful to have been a part of such an awesome, wonderful show that was full of heart. I think that's what's given it the staying power, is that it's got a lot of heart and it's got a lot of life lessons that are still true today. Just the basics, be kind, do the right thing, be a good friend. All of it.
If I also may lift Pete's catchphrase here, you actually have the ability to take a 40-year-old man up here and bring him down here back to 5 years old.
I was
And
actually 4
essentially
when
just
JEM came out.
have him like
That's
relive
awesome.
his childhood.
I love that. That's so special to me. That I don't take that lightly. It's your childhood. It means a lot, and I just feel like I get to be ambassador for JEM. It's beautiful.
Before I get to my final comment and question, Sam, I'm gonna let Dan say his final comment. Dan, your final comment.
Sam, just I just love you. You're so cool. Hopefully, next time I see you, like if you ever come to Chicago, let me know, because I would love to hang out with you.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
either way, next time or next Ranger Step or wherever, like hopefully we hang out again, because I just love you. I think you're so cool, and just
You're so sweet.
thank you. And it's
Thank
just cool
you.
talking to you, and just this was so much fun. But
This
yeah, just
was lovely.
hopefully we take a picture next time I see you, because I just enjoy your company.
Absolutely. And I actually met the new owner of Ranger Stop when I was in Georgia this summer. And he talked about having me to some Ranger Stop shows, since Mikey's no longer working on Ranger Stop. So I was like, well, that'll be fun. So chances are I'll get to see you at some point.
I love that. Hopefully Atlanta or Florida, one of the two. Either way, we'll see each
One of
other.
the two. It'll work somehow. Yeah. But stay warm. I heard it's very cold in Chicago right now.
Oh yeah, and we're supposed to be getting more snow soon. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
Get yourself a thermal coat. I know.
Before I get to my final question, though, final comment. Let me just say this, Sam. Too. Well, first question is I have two questions. First of all, how does it feel to be a legend?
Oh my gosh, I can't even. That to me just feels kind of. I feel like it's the show. It was an ensemble. It was so many creative people. It wasn't just me. I was given a platform to use my talent to bring Jem and Jerica to life, but I couldn't have done it without the amazing cast, the amazing musicians, the amazing writers. I mean, all of it. It's the truth. It was a collaborative, beautiful moment in time that I always say Jem has legs. Like a glass of wine that's like, that glass of wine's got legs. Jem's got legs. She's lasted for so long, but she wears pink sparkly tights. And here we are in almost 2026, and we've got new dolls, and it's just wonderful.
It is. And let me ask you too, Sam, because you've had an incredible music career. You're a musician, though. And I gotta ask you too, what is your inspiration for songwriting? What's your inspiration to coming up with these creative things that you created so successfully?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I love collaborating, but often it's just me writing to loops and writing on guitar, writing on keyboard. That's where most of my songs have come from. And it's so strange. I was actually talking to my sister about this the other night because I've written like 30 new songs in my stable of songs, and some of them are not even for me. They're like not even to have remotely anything to do with my life, or but as a songwriter, I feel like we are perceptive creatures, and I absorb, I watch, I listen, I'm interested in different archetypes, and I'm interested in the psychology of people and spirituality and all kinds of things, and so it comes out in my songwriting, and sometimes has nothing to do with me, but it's something that I feel moved to write a song about, whether it's kind of a silly sort of, I just wrote a song called Casey's Living Room, uh, which is like a fun kind of glam rock kind of vibe, which has nothing to do with me at all. And but then I have a lot of songs that are my emotional, getting my thoughts and my journey out on paper. So some of it is super personal. So
That's incredible. Chris here said that you can make him feel like that kid again. Like talking to you right now, just the excitement I get, you make me feel like that kid with peanut butter in his mouth because I am fumbling my words of excitement that have you on.
that's awesome.
So I apologize for fumbling my words, but it's just so exciting to have you on. You're a true legend in the business.
Oh, it's so sweet.
The bigger tribute that I want to do for you for part 2, which will be the ultimate best of Samantha Newark, in which it will be a compilation of all the stuff you've done like in your professional career.
Wow.
2-hour.
Oh my gosh.
So basically a 2-hour.
Like my McDonald's commercials and it's been a crazy ride.
Think of it this way, Sam. It's gonna be 2 hours of nothing but Samantha Newark.
Oh
Like
my
that.
gosh. I'll be sick of myself.
But I just want to say before we wrap up, though, I just want to say thank you again for this incredible interview. I will get this interview up pronto. In fact, as a matter of fact, everyone knows that I get this interview up done within either an hour after this interview or a day. Right, guys?
That's so
Right, right.
wonderful.
Yeah, and Sam, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but before we conclude, I feel like you deserve this, and everyone, if you want to chime in, this is what you deserve, and that is thank you, Sam.
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 Thank
You-
you, Sam.
Miss Newark, you are
Sam.
awesome. You have a wonderful day. Everybody have an awesome day, like no pun intended, and it was just great. To have
Sam, you are
episode.
truly a gem.
Yes.
Thank you. You
Yes.
guys are
Hey,
truly,
you
truly,
guys.
truly outrageous.
Take
Love
care,
you,
everyone.
Sam.